Today, we're breaking down one of the hottest Solar Titan builds in Destiny 2. To burn away the pain, the first thing you want to grab is Sol Invictus from your subclass. This aspect makes getting a kill with any of your abilities leave a sunspot on the ground. PvE enemies stumble through these things like drunk dudes at a bonfire, and when you walk in it, you start healing over time and all your abilities regenerate faster. When you combine that with a weapon that has Incandescent, you're basically burning the whole world down. Whether you're chucking grenades, smacking something in the face with your hammer, or just getting kills with your gun, sunspots are going to be everywhere, and the damage you put out is absolutely insane. To take that idea and run with it, you want to throw on the fragments Ember of Torches and Ember of Ashes. Ember of Torches makes you and nearby allies radiant when you hit things with your charged melee. Titans get to yeet their hammer across the map, which means you and your team can take advantage of that 20% extra damage pretty much whenever you want. With Ember of Ashes equipped, you scorch enemies even harder, and the more of that you apply, the more damage it does over time. To make dudes explode, kill a few targets with your incandescent weapon, then sit back and watch the fireworks. Those solar ignitions obliterate groups, and because of that, you want to slot Ember of Char so that when they go off, anything that survives gets scorched in the process. To push your damage and healing even further, it's time to slot the mods Melee Wellmaker, Seeking Wells, and Well of Life. Melee Wellmaker drops a solar elemental well whenever you kill something with a charged melee. Run over that to get 15% of all of your abilities back. The throw and hammer is pretty much the best melee in the game, and you want to use it to cave in the skull of anything stupid enough to stand in your way. With Seeking Wells and Well of Life equipped, those solar wells are going to travel across the ground to your location, and when they find you, you're going to start healing over time. That effect stacks with the restoration given by Sunspots, and the two of those together make it damn hard to take you down. Combine that with max resilience for that 40% damage reduction in PvE, and my guy, you're basically immortal. From there you want to put on Font of Might to give you even more utility out of those elemental wells, and because it stacks with the boost from Radiant. With both of them active, that's 45% extra damage to your solar weapons, and while we're talking about guns, let's go over what to run in your Kinetic and Heavy slot. Real quick, I want to thank you dudes for always supporting the channel, and if you're getting value out of this, don't forget to press the like button. Thanks for keeping the dream alive. For your Kinetic weapon, anything that stuns champions will get you by just fine, so check your seasonal artifact and pick something that makes sense for whatever you're about to do. Personally, I'm running the Arbalist exotic more often than not. This thing breaks any shield in the game in one shot, barrier champion or otherwise. The perk Disruption Break stacks with Radiant for a 70% buff to your Arbalist damage, and it hits harder than a round of drinks on someone else's dime. In your Heavy slot, the Cataclysmic from the Vow of the Disciple raid is still putting in work. Because both your special and heavy are linear fusions, you can get double the mileage out of ammo finders, as well as scavenger mods, and even linear fusion holsters to keep them reloaded in the background. If you can snag yourself a Cataclysmic with bait and switch, you can get a hefty buff from the gun itself, and that stacks with Radiant and Font of Might for an 80% increase to the damage from your heavy. To open a fight, find yourself a red bar, throw your ranged melee to become Radiant, then start laying into them with your incandescent weapon. As things die, advance into your sunspot and swap targets to anything that's not on fire to spread the scorch around as much as possible. In just a few seconds, the solar ignitions start popping off, it looks like you're burning the whole place down around you, and if I can hit on the power fantasy for a second, think about how insane this looks to fight against. You're walking in like a god of fire, smashing your enemies' faces in with a flaming hammer, and leaving what's left of their corpse as a smoldering pile on the floor. Your body draws those remains to you, like the gravitational force of a black hole, and then you absorb it to fuel your flames and burn your wounds closed. Imagine using your enemy's ashes to become immortal in the heat of battle. Sounds pretty fucking dope, right? Would your Titan slowly become covered in them the longer the fight drags on? Or would the ashes permanently stain your fingertips like a reminder of wars long past? No matter what you come up with, as nasty as all this is, there's still something that takes the build and throws gasoline right on the flames. To perfect the loadout, the best thing you can put on is the Heart of Inmost Light. When you use an ability, this exotic buffs the damage and regen of the other two. Now every time you hit something with your hammer, you're getting faster grenade and barricade cooldowns, pop a barricade, and your melee and grenade are back up in just a few seconds. That additional damage stacks with the Roaring Flames aspect from your subclass, and the regen stacks with Sol Invictus for some of the fastest ability cooldowns in the entire game. Heart of Inmost Light makes a buttery smooth gameplay loop that lets you spread fire all over the map. And if you're not much for punching people in the face, but you'd be the first one to put a knife in a back, then you probably want to hear about hunters. So click the card on the right and I'll see you there. I'm Moonchild, thanks for watching.